Ohio minasan, welcome back to the channel. Today we're playing a game that's very special. This is actually a game that I've backed on Kickstarter. I don't normally do this because you really got to get me invested. But they did get me invested, and I'm actually really excited about it. The game we're going to be looking at is, drumroll, Our Life Beginning and Always. This is an otome game, which is the female equivalent of a dating sim. Um, Basically, this is Cove, and Cove is our boy. I really like it for all of the features that it adds, how unique it is for gameplay wise, and the fact that supposedly Cove is supposed to be able to say a huge variety of names. And I did put Blue as one of the names that he should say um, when I backed the project. And also, there should be a hairstyle that looks like Blue's hairstyle in this. So I feel like it's the most immersive I'm ever going to get from a game like this. And so I'm actually like really excited to play it. So anyway, let us actually get into playing this game. And I have like all the DLC, so because I backed the project. So we gotta go new file. Wait. Oh, hold on. I didn't realize it was gonna show my mouse, and I don't want you guys seeing my mouse. No, don't wanna. There we go. All right, let's go back to the game. Welcome to Our Life Beginning and Always. There are various ways you can customize and interact with the game. This tutorial is an overview of how certain features work. You can read the full tutorial from the main menu and learn everything in detail. To start off, the game is divided into 3 time periods called steps. Step 1, childhood, Step 2, adolescence, and Step 3, teenaged. Our life is further divided into sets of vignettes that take place during specific periods of time. Those are called moments. Moments can be played in any order or skipped entirely. You move on to the next step whenever you want to by selecting that summer is ending. Steps 1 through 3 include 5 moments each, and even more will be unlocked by purchasing DLC. Obviously, I purchased the DLC, guys. A lot happens over the years as you go by, especially in regard to the character you play as. You determine nearly everything about the main character: name, appearance, personality, pronouns, interests, skills, and the relationship with major characters, and so on. The customization is really what made this stand out to me and why I was willing to back the game. You can decide to change the details as time goes on, with a few exceptions. Your last name, skin tone, and eye color can't be altered once set. Much of the main character's basic traits are determined on a character creation screen. As the main character grows up, more options become available on the screen. As mentioned, one of the decisions you'll get to make for your character is selecting a name. You can type any name you like, and you can pick a preset name. Preset options are called voice names because the name will be voiced aloud by a romantic lead. You'll get to hear him say your name as you play through the story. I swear, if the name that I chose and put on there isn't in the game, I'm going to be actually upset. But it's supposed to be in here. Only the default name Jamie is included in the base game. Hundreds more can be added by getting free voiced named expansion DLC. So wait, is it in there? Obviously, I have all the 2 DLCs that are there, but it's saying a free voiced name expansion DLC? Oh, it's because it's not here. Oh, hold on. Well, we'll see. There is no other DLC, so besides the paid DLC that I already have. So I don't know if this is just something that is actually a thing or if I'm gonna have a problem. Obviously, if the name thing isn't in here, we're probably gonna have to go and ask what the hell's going on. Um, but it says shortly after the game launch, so I don't know why it's not in already there. Each name in the DLC belongs to or was selected by someone who supported the project. Yes, that's me. That's why I want my name. First person perspectives. Unless The team has one love interest, obviously, and we're only gonna go for Cove, because that's my boy. Generally act and think when it comes to him. Your level of interest and comfort will set the type of dynamic your character has with the love interest. What you did in the past will influence the present, and feelings can change over time. You get to pick your interest/comfort level near the beginning of every step. Comfort can switch between the 3 levels as you please. Your interest level may only stay the same or increase. Your current level of interest will become the new lowest option on the screen in the future. For example, if you decide to be fond in step 1, disinterest will be gone from the screen in steps 2 and 3, which will make fond the bottom level option for your relationship. Okay? Interest level has an impact when it comes to physically interacting with Cove. While growing up, things are rather simple. If you get along with one another and have a close relationship, you can choose to touch him, and Cove will occasionally interact with the main character in lighthearted or comforting ways. But starting in step 3, touching can become more romantic and suggestive if you're at crush or love. To make sure things go nicely with that, there is an extra choice to determine intimate level and a bonus mini tutorial that goes along with the choice to explain the feature in more detail. Basically, even if you decide you like Cove, the game won't force you to act on those feelings. Well, what? I don't get the point of playing an otome game if you're not going for that, but sure. You can always choose not to get together with him and choose not to accept or give romantic gestures. If you do decide to date Cove, though, you can't break up with him later. Well, thank you, game. It isn't only the main character who is impacted by your decisions. Cove grows and changes over the years. How he's treated and what he experiences helps shapes who he becomes. Cove's personality and appearance and interest will vary based on what happens in the previous step. If there's something of a mystery exactly how your decisions end up changing him, you can try to guess as you go along. Or if you prefer, you could also just design your own ideal Cove directly using the Cove Creator option that pops up at the beginning of steps 2 and 3. No, I'm gonna let my choices actually impact this, at least for the first one. The colors aren't related to specific points of effect. They're only there to give a bit of insight to the tone and emotion of the choice, since text alone can potentially be read in more than one way. Blue tends to be casual and straightforward, yellow more emotive and reactive, green less certain and uncommitted. Though there are hundreds of options in our life, not every choice menu falls in line with that pattern. Picking just one color every time doesn't give a gameplay benefit. Only stick to a certain type if that's what you happen to like, otherwise switch between them freely. Always pick yellow, never pick yellow. Pursue romance right from the start. Never romance the love interest, but be disagreeable or admittable. None of them will lead to a bad ending. You're welcome to enjoy the events and shape this story without reservation. And then, if you like, you can play again to try something new. There's only ever more content to discover. Thanks. Okay, now, do they have my hair? That is the question. Okay. This is just gonna be a mess trying to find if they've got my hairstyle. Nope. Oh my goodness, look at it! I'm positive this is what they were doing. 2-10. They did the wrong side, didn't they? Unless, nope. Okay, yeah. Okay. There we go. There we go. Look at her. She looks so pretty. I'm happy. Like that's probably as close as I'm gonna get to having blue actually like there. Well, obviously we're not gonna be brown. Olive or tan? I think we're olive. I think that'll work. Brown. Face shape. Pointed. I think oval is best. So how does that look? Does anybody else think that I look really good? That this is blue in the game? Yeah. So I'll probably have to play this again later. I don't know when the name is gonna come up. That is actually pretty darn disappointing to not have that on lunch. Yeah, I'm BlueFlame. Oh, birthmark. No. 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 Nope. Rosy cheeks? No, I don't think that looks good. Ooh, freckles. And I don't like how they look. Glasses. I don't think she looks good with glasses. Okay, next page. Oh, birthmark. Let's try to actually be nice and say, hey, clothing types, dresses, skirts. All of them are my types. So we're gonna put, I'm making myself as close to myself as possible without like the freckles, because I don't like how they look on this. Accessory types. Hats? Yeah, let's go with hats. Okay. I think that's as close as we're gonna get to blue for now. I definitely, I'm a little upset that the voiced option isn't in the game yet, but, oh wait, is the hair back also two-toned? Hold on. I want to see if there is. Or if they only did the front. Yeah, they only did the front. Oh well, it still looks so much like blue that I'm okay with it. Like, it still looks so much like her that I couldn't get in closer if I wanted to, really. So I'm happy, especially because you could tell this was designed based off blue, because look at those bangs. You don't get those bangs otherwise. Okay, but let's go. Achievement unlocked, your life. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usual sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of summerless vacation with it. During the summer, your moms didn't like you wandering too far outside your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often, am I gonna have to have you guys not been hearing the music this entire time? I'm so sorry if you guys haven't had the music. Obviously it doesn't matter because nothing really has happened except for the music. Sorry about that. Going for a walk around town. Oh yeah, hello. You didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nod back at them. Whew. Let's go with it. You enjoyed learning all about where they were visiting from and hoped to visit those places one day too. But today there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person, or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever, or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your moms had talked with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people. But it can help you even argue with that. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing he was blocking the way. You slowed down, your eyes remaining fixed on the man. There was a split second where your eyes met and you knew he was aware he wasn't alone on the street anymore. Hey! You raised your eyebrows at the shout. Did he want something? Is that why he was here? The man stood up and started to make his way towards you. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. The man gives a grin of his own back. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin, relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shoulders and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. I live right here. My name is Blue. Why would I say my name? Oh, I actually don't feel comfortable saying my name. That's great. He looked happy to hear it, giving you a broad smile. What the hell are you giving me a $20 bill for? Oh my god, that's creepy. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him.
Well...
Could you do me a favor? Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have... let me start over. Please, start over, my dear man. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove, who is about your age. Cove? That seemed like a strange name for an actual living person to you. You chewed the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. We moved across the street, see? He gestured towards the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be BlueFlame, right? I met your moms earlier. They told me you were 8, just like him, so, He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance, and you can keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him. Well, I don't like being bribed to be friends with somebody.
Do you mind?
But you gotta keep it a secret too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. Kind of felt sorry for Cove. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that. What'd you say? Want to make a deal? You didn't want the money. I'm gonna be friends with your son, and I'm gonna be nice about this. No, thank you. Sorry. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely.
Are you sure?
It won't be so bad. Even if it's just the summer, that'd be enough. That only made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't gonna fly, he tucked the bill into his back pocket and changed the request. I didn't want to, just turn down the money. I don't want to turn down being your kid's friend. I just don't want to be paid for it, because that sounds scummy. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming by for a normal visit? No money involved? Yeah, I want to meet him. You'd have to ask my moms! Yeah, I want to meet him. His smile got bigger, his eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but... hell, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. I can try. Sure thing. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still gonna help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head, paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. Now I better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back, and that's not what's important. I have to go. Thanks again, Blue, so much. He jogged down the street without another word. You decide to check the hills behind your house. Step 1, first sight. Aww. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself you had seen a flash of a shiny mermaid's tail in the distance. You took a deep breath. You wanted to try and relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you weren't alone. So you glanced around. Glanced around. There was a boy sitting on top of one hill, almost completely hidden with the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, you probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a bit like you found a deer in the wild. Though the deer didn't have. I'm gonna look at his hair. But this new boy did. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. Aw, Cove. It's actually full screen this, because this is pretty. This is a pretty moment. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Hey, Space Cadet! With a start, he jumped to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. Oh, Cove, don't be like that, my little boy. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Ah! Eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? I met your dad. I'm all-knowing! Lucky guess. I met your dad. I'm gonna be... I'm sorry, Cove. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. You can't own a hill! Why not? How could you? You just do. I had a hill back home. Well, this still isn't mine. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as soon as you asked the question. Almost like they never stopped, his tears started up again with vengeance. Oh, Cove, don't cry! Oh, my boy! My parents. They didn't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking to his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a home here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping away his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. Your dad seems kind of nice. Like, I don't know what to say in that situation. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. It must be hard for Cove, living here without his mom, but at least he still had a parent who cared about him. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Blue!
Cove?
Kids, where'd you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here.
I want to go home.
Oh, Cove. It will be okay. You stood up, struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna all be fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. Blah! Blah! Word jumble, guys! His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked towards the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not bandaged arm.
Sorry.
I still don't want to go. You wait. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud! The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you and they rushed forward. They rushed over. Blech. Both your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Blue, you're here after all! We had been at the park to check for Cove and then heard what happened earlier. When you met the new neighbor, I thought you might have gone off further away. Now we were just sitting in the grass. Cove didn't want. What do I say? What do I say? We're okay, don't worry. Cove didn't want to go home just yet. Mommy gave Cove a small smile, and then she turned back to you. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You look over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug, pushing at his arms. Yes, I like him. I think he's good. I think I'm gonna marry him. Yes, I like him. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you.
That's a relief.
Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Blue knows this whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for us. Say goodbye, Cove.
Bye.
Bye! Oh, poor boy. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading towards the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper play date tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? Sure, can I show him my stuff?
Of course.
Thanks, Mommy? Then okay. Both your moms laughed, the sound overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her hand around your shoulder and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go home after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Oh, look at that. We can now do this. I think I'm gonna be... Well... I think we're gonna have a crush. Relaxed crush. We're gonna be relaxed. Like it's a childhood romance. And I'm having a crush because I don't want a fondness. I want a crush. I think it'll be adorable to have a relaxed crush. Ready! Then... Alright, but that is actually gonna be where we leave this episode off. So, thank you all so much for joining me as we started to play Our Life, Beginning and Always. I'm a little disappointed at the voiced option. Hopefully they get that up in the next couple, hopefully they get that up in the next day or two. Like, I didn't hear anything about the fact that that wasn't going to be included at the beginning. I might have to go back through, like, all the Kickstarter notes and that. But hopefully that changes and we get Blue's name voiced before I get too far in this game and you guys never get to experience it. I am happy that my hair option was in there and they, like, made so many different options for it. It's like, oh, I just wanted the blue hair. But sure, thank you for, like, listening and giving me all my hair options. I'm really happy at how it looks because it looks really good. Also, just because that's what I wanted. I wanted a character that could literally be customized, and it's blue. And it's blue to every degree that matters, which is what I love. And I can't wait to play more of this game, and I can't wait to see how our Cove is created, I guess is the best terminology for that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everyone.